So quick intro. I am Adedayo and CEO of TANTV, and I'm just going to briefly share what TANTV is all about. So we're a media platform, independently owned, Black-owned media platform that caters to the, that caters to the African and Black multicultural diaspora. So we focus on business, culture, entertainment, politics, politics and news. And so we focus on the African diaspora as a whole, and of course, just like the Black multicultural diaspora. And so one thing I always say is that Black storytelling is not monolithic, and so that's what we try to highlight here at TANTV. And I was so excited to come across. I'm a big BravoTV person. That's my guilty pleasure right there. I love the shows and everything. And so when Summer House Martha's Vineyard came out, I was stuck to the TV and glued to it. I was disappointed that there was not a reunion for season 1. And then of course excited that we had a season 2, and there was a reunion for season 2, which wasn't all that. We'll talk about that later. It wasn't all that, but at least we got something. We got a reunion in the clubhouse. Right. It was all good. And then shocked that it was paused, right? And so when I saw that it was paused and the show, I was just so shocked and confused.
Yeah.
Like, why is this happening? This is such a great show. What's happening that BravoTV is deciding to pause the show. So I'll pause there for now. Okay. And let's talk about you, Nick. I'm so glad that you and I were able to have a conversation and a quick intro. Can you do a quick intro about yourself? And but just for the viewers, Nick Arrington is a 2-time cast member of the BravoTV Summer House Martha Vineyard's show, and so please do. And he's just from what I know, and I want you to go into depth about who you are, your background. But from what I know, you're an accomplished marathon runner. Very not a lot of people have accomplished that feat of participating in the 6th world important marathon, and so you've accomplished that. And you're a showstopper, you're a fashionista, and you always give your mom the flowers. So anybody that knows you knows that you credit your mom for your fashion sense and style. And I'm excited to delve into that a little bit more as well.
Okay.
But I don't know if I did your background justice, so I'll let you do the rest.
I mean, what more can I say? Well, first, before we get into me and all the things about me,
yes.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to meet you virtually, of course. Where are you based at? Where are you calling in from?
So I'm in Bethesda, Maryland.
Okay.
But DC, DMV based. Yeah.
Got it. Well, I'm from the DMV. I grew up in Woodbridge, Virginia. So I don't know if you've ever been to Potomac Mills, but my high school is across the street. And my family house also is across the street from Potomac Mills.
Yes, Bethesda isn't too far from Potomac, so
no, not too far at all. Not too far at all. But I think, and definitely congratulations on your platform. I think that's pretty extraordinary. Good for you.
Thank you.
I agree. Black stories aren't monolithic. They're all different.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have a platform to tell these stories and allow people like myself and yourself to tell their story, I think is pretty special. So thank you for that as well. Yeah, I think you summed me up pretty much in a nutshell. I'm going to fill in some blanks a little bit. So again, from the greater Washington, D.C. area, and went to school down in Alabama, studied at Tuskegee University. It was a priority for me to go to a historically Black college. My mother taught me, speaking of my mother, and I always give her flowers. I think she did an incredible job with myself and my siblings. She told me, no one can take care of you better than your own. So I knew I was going to a Black college, I just didn't know which one yet. And we landed on Tuskegee because I was blessed to get my wits from my mother as well. Pretty smart, so I had an academic scholarship. I'm pretty decent on the baseball field. A lot of people don't know I played baseball in college because I'm such an avid runner now, which we can get to. Yes. But I played baseball at Tuskegee. I was actually a co-captain with one of my soon to be frat brothers. We didn't know we were gonna be line brothers until, you know, a couple of years later. But Mike and I, we were the only freshmen that were recruited that season to play down in
Baseball isn't a well-known black sport.
Well, I rebut that because there's number 42, Jackie Robinson. He broke the color barrier many, many years ago. And since then, I mean, we have black names in baseball like Deion Sanders, Barry Bonds, Tony Gwynn, Ken Griffey Jr. Everyone wanted to be like Griffey when we were kids. And, you know, the Yankee, I'm looking at Yankee Stadium here from my window, Derek Jeter. I mean, you know, I think once we get into a sport, we dominate it, right? So yeah, but I agree some of what you're saying. It's generally speaking, we play everything, you know, and we just tore it up at the Olympics. I don't know if you watched the Olympics, but
and I'm mad at what they're doing with the Olympian Chels. But you know, I read yesterday that she refused to give her bronze back, and she should.
Yeah, I need to do some more research on that. I haven't taken a deep dive into that. I want to know the ins and outs of it. Let's see. So we were at Tuskegee, pledged Kappa there, graduate, moved to New York. In another life before television, I worked in corporate America, worked at companies delivering sports sponsorships. So let's say if a company was sponsoring US Open or Wimbledon or the Rugby World Cup or something like that, I would help deliver those activations on behalf of said firm. Lived in New York for a number of years, then I moved to London for about 3.5 years. Then I tried out Chicago for a little bit, went back to the DMV, and now I split my time between New York City and Los Angeles. When it starts to get cold here and we start seeing snowfall, we head to LA.
Really?
It's cool. I'm blessed. Now let's talk about marathons. Yes, the 6 world majors. We're still running. This spring I ran London and Boston, and they were 6 days apart, which was pretty intense, but we got it done uninjured. Ran both marathons. I think I did Boston in 3 hours 45 minutes, and I did London in like 3 hours 30 minutes. So we're running an average pace around 8 flats, 755s in that ballpark. This fall I'll be running Berlin for the 3rd time and Chicago for the 3rd time, and I may, like a lunatic, run New York City as well. I don't know yet. We'll see if my body can hold up. And then in March we turn around and we finish our 2nd trip around the world, and we run the Tokyo Marathon. And I know I'm doing the running, I'm using the word we. The running community is so big, and I always say we because we go out in numbers, you know. And I think we all support each other each step of the way. It's you versus the road, but you know, you look to your left and you look to your right. And at this point, I'm in the teens at this point, so I'm looking around, I'm seeing so many familiar faces. We push each other to the finish line. What else are we working on? Got some exciting stuff. I'm coming home to the DMV next week. I'm throwing out the first pitch at the Nationals game, so that's pretty exciting.
Well, so invite. I'd love to be there.
Yeah, it's on the 30th, on Friday. So it's HBC Unite. There's only 2 clubs in MLB that have HBC Unite so far. It's going to be Atlanta Braves and Washington Nationals. And it's also a Divine 9 night, and I'm a Kappa, so it makes perfect sense for me to throw out that first pitch. I'm really excited about it.
Congrats on that,
Let me think, what else is going on? So we're running, we're playing baseball again. I'm a newly minted Lululemon ambassador, so that's pretty exciting.
Well deserved.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that affirmation. Have a run coming up on the 28th in New York City. It's a fun run in the yoga, kind of like restore and recover, because if we're putting up 45 and 50 miles in a week, on a Sunday we need to like kind of relax and, you know, loosen the legs out, do some yoga and recovery so we don't get injured. We did a similar thing actually last week. Alex and I were on the Vineyard for the film festival, and I hosted a run. We did a quick run around Oak Bluffs, like a 5K, and then we did a recovery at the house that we were staying in. So yeah, running is very much a part of my life. Running, fashion, you know, all the things. So yeah, you got me pretty much in a nutshell.
Well, thanks for sharing all that. Let me know when you're in DC if you have time. Sure. And take us a bit behind the scenes of the show. I don't know what you're allowed to say or not, but what season do you guys film? Like what months? Because I know August from Martha's Vineyard is like everyone, and like my whole timeline. I really wanted to be there to cover the MVAF, the film festival.
Yeah.
And they got back to me really late and all that stuff, so I couldn't make it there. But my whole timeline right now is filled with people posting their Martha's Vineyard experience, and it's such like the spot for like Black joy, so to say. So, what time do you guys? What dates do you guys film the show?
So it kind of depends. I think it all boils down to when we can get a rental for the house, because, as you said, your timeline is full of everyone being at the Vineyard, and we're going to put some good vibes in the air that you're there next year for the film festival.
Amen.
Get that in advance. I think it'll be a good time. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yes.
I think the best way to describe being on the Vineyard in August, it's for those of you that went to a Black college, it's like homecoming mixed with a family reunion mixed with vacation.
Yeah.
All in one. When you're at a tailgate at your school, it's like, hey, come on and get something to eat. It's the same on the Vineyard. Hey, come to our house after Inkwell, or after we go here, come on through. We're having an after party, or we're having a barbecue the next day.
Yeah.
And everyone just feels loved, safe. It's comfortable. We kind of, to get to the island, I get basically like pre-vetted anyways, and it's just a safe space, and you don't really think about. It's very much like homecoming. You don't really think about, is this person going to do that to me, or that person going to do this to me? It's all love, and everyone is like, come, let's have some fun. I don't think I went to my friend Trell hosted the Black Excellence Brunch, and that was on, I think, a Friday last week.
I saw a lot of content around that.
I don't think, just like the smile that you have on your face, I don't think I saw one person frowning, and that's what the Vineyard is in August. Not one person was frowning, and everyone was really nice. Oh no, you take this seat, or you go here, you get in line. Sorry, that's the Sweet Symphony of New York City. It's nothing but sirens here all the time.
We can't even hear it here. So.
You can't hear them? Oh, that's great then. So yeah, and specifically to your question, when do we film? In August. We're there in August. With specific dates in August, they were different both seasons. We got there towards the end of the season for season 1.
Okay.
I think they were still getting things geared up for the first season, working out all the kinks, etc. And then as it became a well-oiled machine, we were there much earlier, the second season around. We were there shortly after the film festival, because I think it just boiled down to availability, to be fair. And then it's like us 10, 12 people plus cameras. That's a lot. Especially when the island is like packed with people.
Yeah.
But it's also very fun, So it's like, we'll have a reservation for 20 and 6 cameras. Yeah, we'll come on in. So, yeah, it's a lot.
20 and 6 cameras. Yeah. So no, that's the reason why I asked is because I wasn't sure, like, if you guys just like go out there at a, maybe not during the summer, but at a different season just for filming, right? Because I know a lot happens in August. So I was like, why is there no more, like, because I was hoping to see more things that happens on the Vineyard with you guys being a part of it, and that doesn't really reflect on the show. I mean,
we spend a lot of time in the house.
So I was wondering why that is.
I think proof is in the title, Summer House. So we spend a lot of time in the house. We do a lot of theme parties in the house.
Okay.
We do good out and about in the Vineyard as well. But it's really about logistics.
Yeah.
When you have that many people and that much staff and production, it's a lot, and the venue has to be just right for it to make sense.
Yeah.
Because we also want, from a continuity perspective, for it to look good on camera for you guys, so you're a part of the story.
Yeah. Did you ever see yourself being on a reality TV show, and how did this opportunity come to you?
I would be lying if I said yes. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Knowing Alex, Jasmine, Silas, Amir, and us having like degrees of separation, and then kind of coming in the house together kind of just happened serendipitously. But I think life is meant to be lived, and why not? I compare it to when I decided to move to the UK. I moved to London by myself, and it was a life experience and opportunity. And it kind of shaped me into the man I am today. So why not? And then
Mm,
I asked myself before I signed a contract to agree to go on the show, when is something like this going to present itself again? Let's try it out.
yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? And it's not every day you get an opportunity to be on national TV. I mean, they air a show in Australia,
Mm,
so it's like it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool opportunity. It came with its stressors and all the things, because you just like when you try something new, it's the
hmm.
unknown. But I think there's beauty in the unknown, and you can learn from it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, said how often, I think when you ask that question, like how often do you get this opportunity, I'm going to add to that, like how often do you see Black people being represented
Yeah.
on television in this way, and that's really what I want to focus our conversation around, because when the show was paused, I'm just going to tell you my reaction again. I was shocked, right? And that's because my entire platform and work is all about positive representation of diasporans, of Black folks, of our stories and our people, right? And I've always tried to do this. I used to write for Forbes in the past, and one of the reasons why I started TANTV was that I would pitch to editors about, hey, there's this African business owner launching a business, I think we should cover him, blah blah blah, and they just were not interested. So I got a lot of no's from editors at Forbes when I was writing for them, and I was just like, we need a space to tell our own stories, and just had faith enough to kickstart this platform, right? So when I saw the show, and I saw, like, this isn't just any show, this is like the creme de la creme, this is the best of us, right? On television, that yes, they go wild, yes, they, the young millennials, but they, there's also an upscale feeling about
Mm.
this, right? And of course, even just being in Martha's Vineyard, the history behind the location, just everything together, I was like, okay, there's something here
Yeah.
that needs to stay on air. So I went ahead to write this article about Bravo's pausing the show and talking about the lack of representation on mainstream television. And I reached out to you, I reached out to Jordan, and a few others from the cast, heard back from you, heard back from Jordan and others. But, I wanted to have this conversation as to representation. Like, talk to me about the impact that you think this show has had in its I know it's only 2 seasons, so but just what does it speak to you about the impact of this show regarding the representation of Black professionals, Black millennials, Black excellence, really?
Yeah. I think thank you for writing the article, and I think your voice should be heard, regardless of what platform it is, whether it be at Forbes, Black Enterprise, your own platform. So kudos to you.
TANTV, say TANTV.
Yeah, TANTV. And kudos to you for putting in the work and the effort and having the wherewithal to do it, and the faith to do it for yourself. Good for you. I think representation is key. Like we said when we first started talking today, Black people aren't monolithic. Everyone has their own story. Everyone is super unique, and I think that's what's pretty extraordinary about our cast. Everyone is so different. Yeah, we have our common threads. I think that's why we're friends, because you hang out with like-minded people, right?
Yeah.
But we're all so different, and so unique, and I think that's what makes the cast very dynamic, and that's why I think people like it.
Yeah.
I have two stories from an impact perspective.
Mhm.
I was at I think this was after season 1. I was at an event in like Mount Vernon, I think it was, somewhere in New York, and I was talking to someone, and a woman overheard my voice, and she was like, "I thought that was you, but I was turned around."
Yeah.
She wanted to interrupt what I was saying, and she gave me an anecdote of a story that she had watched one of the episodes where I was telling a story about my mother, how she used to inspect my siblings and I before we went outside, because she said, if you go outside, looking any kind of way, people are going to treat you any kind of way. And that line resonated with her son. This is the woman that was speaking to me.
Yeah.
And she got kind of emotional talking about it. And I think that's when I knew that people were watching and people were paying attention, even younger people, especially young men. And, she's sharing more and more with me. Like now he's ironing his clothes. He's paying more attention to how he looks and how he presents himself.
Yeah.
I think when you hear messages from other people other than your parents, even if they're telling you the same thing, it resonates a bit more or differently, I guess the only way I would change that conversation, if I had the opportunity to meet the young man, that would be pretty cool, so I could make an even bigger impact on him.
Yeah.
But the simple fact that he just saw me from a television set and I said those simple words kind of changed the way he presents himself every day and how he attends school. Another story, I was down in New Orleans for Essence Fest this summer, and there was a young man there. I can't remember how old he was, but told me that he ran his first 5K because he saw me running on television. I think that's pretty extraordinary.
Wow.
And his mother was there to corroborate the story. Yeah, he's running all the time now. He keeps asking me for new running shoes. And so to your point of impact, we are impacting people, and I think we're impacting people in a positive way. Yeah, I think our shenanigans in the house, people get a laugh out of it because it is entertainment. But also the through line there is we are making an impact, and I 100% agree with you. Just from those two simple stories.
Yeah. The thing about television, I applied for, I didn't get in, but I applied for a fellowship at Harvard, right? And during my application, I was, they had to submit like an essay about why you wanted to be in the program and all that. So I did this extensive write-up about the history of Black television and all that. And just like digging through material, I was like, for the longest time, we've been siloed. Like we really haven't, had opportunity for representation in media, right? Like we're just, even till now, it's still a fight. Right. And then yesterday I was watching the DNC on television, not in Chicago. I wish I was there.
Yeah.
And something that kept being a resounding thing is we have to fight to win. Right. That's been sort of like the slogan and the theme, that we have to fight to win. And to me, it feels like we have to fight for everything as Black folks. Right. And I'll tell you my background a little bit. I'm Nigerian originally. Right. And I didn't know about the Black experience until I got to have a lived experience in the States, right? I came here when I was 15 for college, and I've been here ever since. So over time, I've got to understand, like, wait, there is something called the Black experience, which you're Nigerian, you're African, everyone is the same. You're not really thinking of things in that way, And to me, it's like, there's really, you really have to fight. There's a gap. We're pushed out from everything. And when you think about television, why it matters is that you cannot become what you don't see, right? So when you have someone like the group of people like your cast members on TV, like what you were just explaining, you have younger people and even just people your age, millennials like us, right? Watching and learning and seeing and wanting to become, right? There's just a whole mix to it. It's just like when you think of, Barbie dolls and things like that, right? And you just only see white dolls. People are trying to change that right now, because you have to be able to see to become. So that's why this really hit me when the show was paused. I'm going to read you a couple of comments that let me see if I can find it. That people shared on
as you're pulling
media.
As you're pulling that up, I know you're right there in Bethesda, I think, which is great. And if you haven't been to the African American History Museum just yet in DC, I think carve out some time and spend there. And I think you'll get a front row seat from the experience, from the Middle Passage all the way up to the election of President Barack Obama.
Yeah,
right?
I took my
Uh,
nephew there
yeah,
last summer.
it's
Yeah.
it's incredible. And I continue to return to this museum just to learn more.
Mm,
Um, you know, and read this and read that, spend a little bit more time in this section or in this area,
yeah.
you know, and I think there's work that still needs to be done. I think,
Mm,
um, yeah, we have a road ahead of us, but I
yeah.
think progress has been made, and we just got to keep pushing forward. You know, we got to keep pushing forward.
Absolutely. So just I put up my article on my second laptop here,
Hmm.
and some of the quotes that I got from social media, like people were reacting instantly
Yeah.
when the news came out that the show was going to be paused. And someone said, "This is so annoying because the White Summer House didn't become interesting until around season 5
Mm.
during the pandemic when we were binging everything. It sucks how quick they are to dismiss this." That's one. And then another one says, "We love y'all and we are not done fighting for you and this show. If Bravo TV doesn't see the importance of showing the fullness of the Black experience and Black joy, we'll find a network that does and take our Black dollars and viewership there. Our stories and the stories of other BIPOC communities are valued. I am forever a fan." And then there are other quotes, let me see if there's one more. Um, Bravo TV stays getting it wrong. We are sick of New Jersey Housewives, Vanderpump, and all those other shows, not this one. And while I hated the divide at the reunion, I was hopeful for a resolution and how great it would have been to watch our stories. It just means we need our own spaces to pick up the shows that matter to us.
Um, I've seen a lot of comments like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk to me in the street, and they're really supportive in the airport. Can't wait for you guys to come back. And pause doesn't mean canceled. So there's
Yeah.
that. Pause just means pause. And I think we could think of it in a different way. Okay, we're
Yeah.
going to take a pause for now. You know, all of us, we can recalibrate, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, create new stories and have new experiences and bring those back to the vineyard. So
Yeah.
pause doesn't mean canceled. But I
That's good
think
to hear.
it's really, really cool to have so much support and love and adoration and affirmations. I think
Yeah.
they're special and they make me feel good because it's like, okay, we aren't on, we're not wasting our time. People are, and, you know, you guys aren't wasting your time watching this. You guys actually enjoy it, which I think
Yeah.
is pretty incredible. And the fact that we have so much support, I think is special. It makes me feel seen, wanted, and it just brings me joy
Yeah.
because it's all positive, you know. Yeah, there's negative comments sprinkled here and there. That's just kind of what it is. But I would say a majority of the comments that I read still are very positive. I know people have sent me DMs. They're going to the vineyard for the first time this summer because they saw us for the past 2 seasons. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty special. And I think we need to continue to go to the vineyard and continue to have fun there. Um, yeah, I think it's pretty cool that everyone is very, very, very supportive. I
Yeah.
love that.
Pause doesn't mean canceled. And so
Doesn't.
we hope, we hope Bravo would do right
Yeah.
by you guys and by the viewers to keep the show going, right? Like you rightfully said, it gives space to actually live life a little bit more and then bring a new perspective to the house and all
Exactly.
that, right? So with that said, Bravo TV, you got to do right. You got to do right by keeping this show on air, right? And give us a chance. I feel like, Black audiences are the best consumers, right? If you give us something that we love, it's we're loyal to the core. Like we'll stay. We would stay, right? And there has to be a way to push this message out there because I know, like I myself, I've done a few upfronts, for the platform and all that. So I understand when you need to do an upfront and when you need to show advertisers that there's an audience there. People are sold. People are bought into this. You can advertise your product, and you will have a market for it, right? And Bravo TV needs to know that there is an audience here, and that honestly, just to be a contributor and not just to be a whining person is why I'm doing this interview, is why I wrote that article, so that they can see that there is an audience that cares, and that, you know, that would put that will put a voice to this, right? And so they should actually count all of these things, the interviews you've done, the articles out there, you know, they should take that into account, you know, that, hey, people are watching, people are listening, people are sharing this. So, because I would be mad if they cancel the show, you know, because there's evidence that people care, and we want to see, you know, positive representation of us. It's so important. It's so important, right, on television. So we're gonna be winding down to wrap up.
Okay.
Couple of questions. What do you envision as the future of Black reality television?
I think we have to continue to cast or reach out to different people. You know, your story is very unique. You said you moved here and you were 15. I think that story needs to be told, because there's other Nigerian women like yourself that have a similar story, and that will have a similar story. You're not going to be the only one that moves over here, you know? So I think there's a story to be told there. And I really like what you said in the beginning of the conversation, that Black people are not monolithic. We're all so different. And I think we're all very unique and very special. And from a representation perspective, as I look across the street in these huge apartment buildings, everyone in these apartment buildings have a different story to tell, right? And I think whether it be that house or this one or that one, they can resonate with my story in a way that I would never know, right? And I may never know, but I'm telling my story on a larger platform, and I think that's very special. And if we can continue to do that in a positive way, also in a fun way and an entertaining way, so there's a dance that you have to do. I think we continue to do that in reality television, scripted television, whatever the case may be. As long as the representation is there, I think we will have a positive impact on our community, right? So I think if we continue to push it, I think there's light at the end of the tunnel.
We continue to push it. I like that. So quick, I don't want to call this a rapid fire, but I want to do something that you care about before we go, which is fashion and style. Sure. Give us a playbook. What is Nick's fashion playbook? Like, what's a staple for? Okay, so let's talk about the Black Excellence brunch that you just recently. So what did you wear? And I'm sure when we're editing this, I'll put your picture there. So, so give us a playbook of Nick's style.
So the first, let's talk specifically to the Black Excellence brunch, right?
Okay.
Or any invitation to an event that you go to, the first thing you do is read the invitation.
Okay.
Read the invitation. I'm saying it one more time. Read the invitation so you know what the dress code is. If it's black tie, show up in black tie. If it's an all black party, be in all black. If it's an all white party, be in all white. So the Black Excellence brunch is standard. It's all white attire. That's what Trell likes. That's what we do. And I'm a big proponent of adhering to the dress code. One of my big pet peeves is when people intentionally don't follow the dress code because they want to be different.
That's not the time.
Impressive. It's not impressive at all. It's just wrong. It's incorrect is what it is. So what I wore specifically to the Black Excellence brunch.
Quick question. When someone dresses like when they wear whatever they want to a themed invitation, is the host rightfully, like, can the host ask them to leave because they did not adhere to the right dress code? Like, is the host is that okay to do as a host?
For sure. If I'm hosting a black tie event, right? And I gave them a long lead time, and they show up in, I don't know, jeans or shorts or something. Yeah, you've already told me what you want to do, and it's not stay here. But
Yeah.
but for the brunch, I wore in typical fashion for me, I wore polo in Ralph Lauren. I like to mix highs and lows. So I wore some double RL. I think the bangles I had on were double RL. I think one was a woman's bangle from Collection. And then I wore, my trousers were Purple Label, my sweater was polo, my shirt was polo, and my shoes were polo as well. So I like to mix highs and lows because it doesn't have to be all Purple Label. It doesn't have to all be this or that.
Yeah.
And I like the women's collection as well. I think this is a women's bangle actually, but I like to mix highs and lows. And I wore all white head to toe. It was kind of like eggshell to be fair. Yeah. So I mean, obviously I adhere to the dress code. And I guess pat myself on the back. I was probably one of the best dressed there for sure.
Can't expect anything less.
Yeah, and the weather was perfect.
Yeah.
So there was a nice breeze in the air. I didn't wear a jacket intentionally because also it's not my event. I'm attending the event.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to let other people shine, you know? You don't have to steal the show. You don't have to, you know, outdress everyone. You know, you just look, you know, respectable, adhere to the dress code, and you pull up, you know? I think quick fashion advice I would give to anyone is be true to yourself. Don't try to wear something just because you saw it on the internet or you saw it here or there. If you feel good in it, wear it, right? To the dress code. But if you feel good in it, wear it. Because I think the clothes that we wear is a way to tell a story about ourselves without having to say a word at all, you know? Let's say people now expect me to be dressed everywhere I go, right? I could go to the grocery store and it's like, hey, wait, Nick's not dressed. You know, if I'm not dressed to the nines, I'm typically in running clothes, but, and also have fun with it. Have fun with it. Going shopping and putting clothes on and getting dressed shouldn't be a burden. It should feel good. And then you should thank your clothes for making you look good. Right? Yeah. Just have fun with it.
Yeah. Does it have to always be designers or?
No, it doesn't have.
Shop where you can afford.
You shop where you can afford. Don't be afraid to buy things on sale. There's no shame in that. Money doesn't grow on trees, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mind a sale. If it's on sale, that's even better. That means I can get more than one piece.
Yeah.
And if you like something, get it in multiple colors.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many cable knit cashmere sweaters I have. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
You have it in pink, red, white.
However, I can only wear one sweater at a time. So we're pretty much all the same in that sense.
Yeah. Absolutely. Anything you would are you a brand partner to any of the brands that you've mentioned? Are there like discount codes that we can share with our audience that has your like Nick 10% on it? You know,
I don't. However, if this is another piece of advice I can give everybody. You have to shop in advance, right? So let's say whatever you're thinking, like for you, for example, you're coming to the Vineyard next summer. I think you should start thinking about buying those clothes now because they're going to be deeply discounted. They're going to be on sale. Right now, everyone's thinking about fall and layers and this. All that stuff is going to be full price. Pre-fall, fall, pre-winter, all of it is going to be, you know, at the top. You want to buy your fall clothes, you know, at the end of the season, like after Christmas. Hit those after Christmas sales. And be a consumer. These brands won't be in business if you're not buying, right? But be a consumer, be a smart consumer. I'm not gonna go out and buy a top coat now. I'm gonna wear the top coats that I bought last season, this season, you know, because I also live by the idiom classics always win. So a woman stopped me in the airport the other day, and she said, "Oh, I love your suit. You know, where did you get it?" And I was like, "I got this from Ralph Lauren almost 15 years ago."
Wow.
You know, and I think also purchasing quality.
Yeah.
You know, and those stand the test of time, you know. And then also don't be afraid of like thrift stores, you know. another man's I think another man's trash is another man's treasure,
Yeah.
right? I'll tell you another story. I could talk to you about fashion to death,
Oh,
right?
I
could
love
talk
it.
to you all
Please.
day long.
That's why I asked. So give us
So I was
a-
going to another all-white party, and I was wearing cream, and I didn't have a cream tie.
Mhm.
I just didn't have one lying around. So I went to a thrift shop right on, I think it was on Madison, or it's Upper East Side, regardless. Can't remember the name of the shop. And I
Mhm.
walked in and I found a vintage Ralph Lauren tie. It was $15. $15.
Vintage.
15 vintage. It was. I think the tie is definitely older than me,
Yeah.
for sure. Is It was cotton and silk in a linen blend, handmade in Italy. It's beautiful. I was gonna wear it to the Black Excellence brunch, but it was a little too hot for a necktie, so I
Yeah.
left it here in New York.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just looking for a bargain.
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to be designer. I think you have to fit in whatever you can in your budget. And it goes back to what I said before. If it makes you feel good, wear it. Because you're the one that has to wear it, right? Not me.
Yeah. No, the tips are great. The tips are great. I mean, for sure, shop, think ahead of what you're going to wear.
Always.
Because like you're definitely buying full price when you're shopping for this, like for the season in the season, right? And things go on sale after the season, or you just, like you said, being a smart consumer.
Smart consumer.
Smart consumer. Yeah.
So when we wrapped season 2,
Yeah.
I already started shopping for season 3. For sure. I kid you not. I'm not playing.
Yeah.
I gotta be ready. I have to be ready.
You have to stay ready. So on a final note, give us some. Oh, I'm gonna make you give us some more lifestyle things. Our favorite place to eat in New York and LA.
Favorite place. You know what? When I'm training, I'm always conscious about what I'm putting in my body.
Yeah.
So there's this restaurant I like to go to both in LA and in New York. It's called Planta. So it's a plant-based restaurant where they have like this spicy tuna, but the tuna is made from watermelon. I know it sounds crazy, but it's really, really, really good. You know what? There's a Planta in DC, I think now. I think you should check it out.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite places to eat. I'm trying to think where else in LA. I think Planta.
If you tell me, what's that crazy store? Erewhon or?
Oh, Erewhon? Oh, Erewhon is good
If
though.
you tell me, oh, I love Erewhon.
Erewhon is good though.
Something, I'll be like, you are so.
It's good though. The sushi
Yeah.
at Erewhon is pretty good. I
I'm
think
sure
Erewhon,
it is,
the
but
prices are they're up there, but I'll say this: we only get one body, right? So we got to put good stuff.
No, I am not buying
Erewhon is crazy.
I'm not buying that. Like I say, who is this? What's her name? No, not Nancy Mears. There's another script writer, someone that's like, she posts that Erewhon things. I'm just like, I'm gonna live vicariously watching your feed, but I don't even know if I would. Maybe I'll, something about me is that even when I don't have money or whatever, like whatever season, I will still go to a nice restaurant, and even if it's just the fries, I'll have the fries. So I think, like I'll probably go to Erewhon and just buy like
Just get a couple things.
Yeah, a couple of things.
Yeah.
So I still love the feel and whatever of it, but just to extensively shop there, I mean, I think it's wild.
It's
But
a lot.
yeah,
The
go
first
ahead.
time I went to Erewhon, I was just kind of like, "Is this real?" No, but the food is good. It's just very expensive. But yeah,
Yeah.
check out Planta when you have a chance. There's
Planta,
one in Marina Del Rey. There's one here in Nomad, and I'm 99.9% sure there's one in DC now. All plant-based. Everything's nice and fresh. And it's not it won't break the bank either. On Mondays, I think it's unlimited rolls. So check it
Okay.
out on Monday.
I will. And final advice to millennials who, nowadays people have dreams of becoming influencers or being a reality TV star.
Yeah.
I mean, the dreams are beyond being a doctor or a lawyer. Like
Yeah.
when I was growing up, and my parents wanted me to be a doctor. Sorry, mom, dad, But yeah, advice to millennials like us, just like how to think of television, profession, achievement, just anything that comes to mind. And we'll use on that note, we'll wrap up on that note.
Okay, so I think whatever you want to do in life, whether it be on television, whether it be a tastemaker, influencer, whichever, how we're going to describe that, whether you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, whatever the case may be, I think stick to it and do it unapologetically. But you don't have to be just one thing either, right? I think those days are behind us.
Yeah.
If you want to be a surgeon and run marathons, do it. If you want to be a surgeon and, do a triathlon and create content around it, do it. That's a story that could be told. If you want to be on the news, you want to be a news anchor, do it. But I think the through line there, if you want to do something at the highest level, you got to put the work in. You just can't wake up in the morning and say you want to do something. You gotta go to the gym. You got to put the work in. And I think if you put the work in consistently, with an unquenchable desire to achieve, I think you do just that. Whatever it is, just got to put the work in. Without the hours, it's really just a wish, right? Yeah. I think there's a difference between a wish and a goal. You put the work in for a goal, and then eventually accomplish it, and then you move the goalpost for yourself.
Yeah.
But, saying you want to be something or do something and not put in the work.
Yeah. Well, you heard that. You got to put the work in to achieve, and you have to be unapologetic about it. And that's how you bet on yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nick. I've had so much fun chatting with you, and hit me up if you're in DC or when you're in DC, if there's time, quick lunch here and there will be
Sounds
great.
Good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Bye now. Thank you for having me.
Bye. Yeah. Bye.